Hello, fellas and ladies. Time to review The Apprentice, the much talked about Donald Trump biopic starring Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump, directed by Ali Abbasi and written by Gabriel Sherman. This one is set in the 70s as Donald Trump is beginning his real estate empire, and the movie suggests that his way of life and his personality was molded and mentored by Roy Cohn, played by Jeremy Strong. Now, this movie is gone on a journey. Premiered at Cannes, distributorless, not uncommon, very normal thing for that to do. It premiered to a mixed positive reception. Sebastian was very well praised, as was Jeremy Strong. Nobody overtly hated it, from what I can tell, but it was definitely, reviews were more lukewarm than overtly negative. After that, Donald Trump swiftly, tried to sue the movie. Common thing for him to do, usually winds up doing nothing, as did this. But because of that, it spent months failing to find a distributor. Part of that was because a billionaire Trump supporter was a financer of the movie, thinking that this is going to be a Donald Trump fluff piece. Oops. So he blocked this from being bought for a while. But then a little studio called Briarcliff swooped in, bought out the movie from the producer, and it's finally out. And I'm starting to notice reception starting to come up a bit, and now I've seen it, and I gotta say, I was really into it. I dug it a lot. I'm gonna talk about the big thing, what you're all, gonna see the movie for. Anyone who's even remotely curious about Sebastian Stan is gonna go see this movie for him. Just curious what Sebastian Stan, this, hunky Hollywood Avenger, is gonna, playing this guy is gonna be, and holy fucking shit. He murdered it. We start out with Sebastian Stan kind of, playing it meek. There's a hint of ego in there, untapped, kind of born from privilege probably. But he's more like a meek figure. But we see the evolution into what we know as Donald Trump today. And by the end, it's just straight up Donald Trump. This is a very effective, egoless beast of a performance. He nails the mannerisms. He never does the voice. That's a big thing. He never does the voice. There's no hint of impression here. He's not going what is going on? I am the Donald. Never doing that shit. Sorry for that, by the way. He never does that. He's mostly just talking like him. There's a hint of Donald Trump in there, but you watch interviews, it's pretty spot on, from that period. But he's just nailing the mannerisms, his cadence, his way of talking, the way he speaks. Obviously, part of that is owed to Gabriel Sherman, the writer. But you're just so enamored by what Sebastian Stan is able to pull off. And between this and A Different Man, which I also saw, I'm not going to review, but I did see it, and he's excellent in that too. I'm just so interested in what Sebastian Stan is able to do as these type of unlikable characters. I also got to give a shout out to Jeremy Strong, who is outstanding as well. You kind of see a bit of a Kendall Roy thing in there in the beginning, but you kind of see way his gears turn. You kind of see the distance in his eyes. He's so used to profiting off of this broken system. By the end, you're just kind of blown away by what he's able to pull off, as he kind of has his "what have I done" Oppenheimer moment, and Jeremy Strong just nails it. Maria Bakalova is also really good. I wish we got a little more from her, though. Her storyline was kind of, a waste. We kind of could have removed it and not much would have changed, but Maria Bakalova is really good. I've seen some criticism say that the issue with the movie is that we don't really learn much about Donald Trump. We already know. We know he's crooked. We know he's sucks. We know he's an awful human being. We know what makes him tick. And I'll give it that the movie doesn't really dig deep into Donald Trump and giving us anything about him specifically that we don't already know. If we could have gone deeper, we could have seen a little more of what his father and his family life does that makes him tick. To how this morphed with Roy Cohn's, advice of navigating the system, how it really got him into this monster. And a lot of what gets him to this point is more through Roy Cohn and not much of what about his internal struggle. We just kind of see him going yep, I like this, I'm doing it. The movie very smartly is away from the presidential campaign of it all. It's in the 70s. He hasn't even entered politics yet. He's actually, by the end of the movie, he's still a registered Democrat. That was smart, but again, in terms of getting to the grits and bones of Donald Trump, we don't really get that. That said, I do think that it's kind of missing the point a bit. I don't think the movie is quote-unquote about Donald Trump. It's more about people like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's just the big bad face of this system that, benefits off of how broken it is. Through Ali Abbasi's direction with its very retro cinematography, we do kind of see how grimy and slimy the inner workings of the American system functions and how it can breed monsters. Tactics that Roy Cohn, gives and teaches Donald Trump is stuff we're really familiar with from, years of Trump being in the center of the media, storm. And we do see him game the system, how easy the system is to be gamed, how lying and corruption and, like blackmailing people can just give you an advantage. And why the birth of Donald Trump was kind of inevitable from this, like, system. How this, meek kid can turn into a crooked force of evil. It's about how, like, pride in your country and a system built on pride was maybe a mistake. I do think the movie is a very fascinating, like, dissection of that as opposed to just being a dissection of Donald Trump. While Sebastian Stan nails being Donald Trump, I think what gives him, like, an extra heft is that we're kind of, when you take away the Trump of it all, we're watching a man lose himself. He wasn't so much drawn to this lifestyle so much as he was pushed. There is something obviously tragic about it, but the movie very successfully does not give you empathy for him as he climbed every single step of the tower himself. I also respect that the movie didn't take cheap shots at Donald Trump. The movie isn't just going, hey, tiny hands, cheeseburger. There were a couple of moments where, like, it's like kind of like, would you run for president? And he's like, nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be good at president. I'm like, okay. He holds like a Reagan Make America Great Again button, and it's like, it's so cringy. But I wouldn't call the movie a hit piece on Donald Trump either, even if that's how it would be seen. Like, yes, the portrait of Donald Trump is very negative, but I think viewing the movie as just an anti-Trump movie is, I feel like, just misguided. As a movie, I do think it flows right. It's edited very interestingly. I think when the movie gets stuck in a place where it's just kind of Donald Trump building his empire, we're just kind of on that. I think aside from Sebastian Stan's, like, transformation, those moments are the least investing. I feel like this movie could have had more of a punch. It definitely tries that towards the end with Jeremy Strong's character. His Oppenheimer moment isn't as, like, just, like, shattering as it could have been, even though it is effective. Overall, I was really enamored and even grossed out by The Apprentice. You'll come for the magnum opus performance from Sebastian Stan, who delivers an outstanding performance, but you'll get more from this movie. Fascinating examination of what American pride and the system built on pride can create. And I'm giving it 8.5 Sebastian Stan Donald Trumps out of 10. I want to really dig deep into this movie's Oscar chances, because I think it's being a little underestimated. I did kind of watch this thinking, how do they deny Sebastian Stan? Voice aside, he goes full Donald Trump, and I don't think that's going to be easy to deny. I think he'll get all 4 precursors, plain and simple, and then get this nomination, no problem at all. I know Briarcliff is the distributor, but, like, it's like the campaign's being run by the guy who got spotlighted Best Picture win for Roadside Entertainment. We're good. They can get him in. Obviously, a shot Jeremy Strong gets in. They can easily go for him. Makeup is a big one. They not only do they Trumpify Sebastian Stan, but, like, even towards the end, Jeremy Strong has got some interesting stuff going on. They can easily go for that. And I think screenplay and picture are still on the table. I know we've had a bad taste in our mouth from this movie for months, but, like, I can't stress enough. I don't really see what about this movie is, like, gonna make Academy voters go away from it. Do I think he's getting a picture? Right now, I'll say no. But is that just the months of bad press talking? Because when they see the movie, the bad press is over. Reception is getting higher, and I think people are falling for it. Would it get director? Probably not. Would it get, like, cinematography? Probably not. Editing? Maybe, but it's not going to be that strong no matter what. Maybe election results could be an issue. There's a possibility that Donald Trump wins and, like, the movie just gets goose egg. Even Stan doesn't get in. But I do think this movie should be looked at deeper when it comes to picture and screenplay, because I think voters will find this appealing. All right, that is that. Like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.